I'm Ria, and welcome to the spring edition of Inside the Junior Herd. On today's show, we will get you up to speed with many of the sports that our Junior Herd players participate in to stay in shape. We will take you along as we celebrate the Western Festival, and we will get you fired up for the upcoming skills camp. Also, we will take a look back at the 2003 Pee Wees and some extra bonus segments. In today's youth sports environment, many kids face pressures to specialize in a single sport. Let's take a look at some Junior Herd kids that look to match the special talents of a Bo Jackson who proved you can be successful at more than one sport.
Throw the ball like this. So 1, 2, 3. Step right throw. Middle of the fence. Get the ball. Let's go. Don't want to see cocky. I just want to see.
A part of it, most of it, is the passion and love to do it. But the other part is a lot of the sports cross. And when I mean cross, the techniques and things that you use go hand in hand. In baseball, it's more the eye-hand coordination with the bat and the swinging and the throws and the catches, which correlate right into football, especially with Bo with his stiff arm and running. Running still on the bases, using the bases, getting off the leads, using your feet, doing the same things that you're doing in football in a different manner, but the same thing, and taking off that quick start that he had in football, he used in baseball. And most of all was his power. You know how to use his legs not only for football, bending and scooping, and you getting all this power from his lower torso. Same in baseball when he's swinging. Got all that power and torque when he was turning that bat. They go hand in hand. And that's why kids, they have no problem. I encourage kids to do more sports because they're going to learn.
You're doing this, and you want to cock automatically. As soon as you do that, your shoulder's going to drop, bat's going to hit. Everything you're going to hit is going to go up. All right? There's a difference between them.
I think the only specialization for the kids at a younger age is they play as many as they can until they find the one they love. And every sport they play will give them more agility for the next sport. Soccer gets your feet ready for football. Football gives you the strength to come play baseball. Baseball gives you foot skills and gives you hand-eye coordination for basketball. They all go hand in hand. Eye-to-eye coordination is just something that it's just got to be taught and something you do over and over and over again. You get better and better with it. And I believe that at a younger age, the more sports they can play, the better they're going to become. Especially when they finally get to that 13, 14. Now I'm starting to get specialized and I want to know what I love. And that's the biggest key for me. 8 on up, they're going to find something they love. But you got to let them try all of them before they find the one they love. Well, I'll use my experience from it. When my son started playing soccer, I knew nothing about soccer. But I learned from it. And then I started learning the strategy of the game. But most of all, what I learned is I saw drills and things that I could take to football that would get my kids in football feet ready. Same drills that are soccer. I started learning that. Then I started learning, hey, there is a strategy to this game, just like football or any other sports you have. But you got to learn the game, and you got to open your mind and go in there and say, I'm willing to learn. Let me learn, and let me bring back what I learned to my sport and my specialization. Because that's the only way you're going to stay ahead. It's the old adage where if you lift weights really hard, just the old-fashioned weightlifting versus the new plyometrics, you can do both, and you start seeing the results of these athletes that are coming out now. It's a phenomenon. You can't as a coach, keep yourself in a box. You got to keep that box open and keep growing, just like your players and everything else in the sports are growing.
The Junior Herd participated in the 54th annual Elk Grove Western Festival, which took place in Old Town and Elk Grove Park. Let's take a look at how the Junior Herd celebrated the history of Elk Grove's Western days.
So they play their games at the actual high school, but it's for younger kids, ages from like 7 all the way to 13, 14 years old. But they have cheerleading for her age. They put them in different divisions based on age.
Really?
Oh, spin it. You gotta spin hard. Grab the side and spin it hard. Wrestling,
Keep on, baby. Girl, but just
we tried to promote at the Western Festival, the Junior Herd and the family atmosphere that we have, that we're trying to promote within the Junior Herd, getting all the family members involved and trying to show that we are all about the kids and the community.
What do you think we achieved?
Talk to me about what you saw this week.
I saw a lot of people showing a lot of interest in our program, people who hadn't been involved in the program within the last few years wanting to come back and participate in our program.
Why is it important for us to be involved in this type of event?
Because we're part of this community and we need to be involved in our children, and part of being involved with our children is to be here where the children and the families are on a specific weekend every year. The families of this community look forward to the Western Festival every year, and we're here to help promote the Junior Thundering Herd.
What do you see?
In 2003, American Idol was in its second season as Ruben Studdard beat out Clay Aiken. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers defeated the Oakland Raiders in the Super Bowl, and David Robinson retired after leading the San Antonio Spurs to the NBA championship. Here in Elk Grove, the Junior Herd was primed for another exciting season led by a group of Pee-wees that will always be remembered as one of the best teams ever. Let's take a look back at the 2003 Junior Herd Pee-wees.
Greg Cochran and I used to talk about that team, and Greg's thought, in his opinion, and I have to say that there's a legitimate claim here, that could have been one of the best teams that ever played for Elk Grove High, or for Elk Grove, for the Junior Herd. And the reason I say that is they scored 295 points in that season. They gave up 6 points. They gave up less than 5 first downs in that season. They defeated Richmond, who later won their North Bay League and went on to be undefeated except for their loss to us. They beat Granite Bay, who was undefeated at that time, and they beat Folsom, who had beaten us earlier in the season to win the NCSA championship. That Folsom team was an amazing team. They when you take their accomplishment, what they did in terms of what they scored, the points that they gave up. They actually scored more points on defense than they gave up. They scored 8 points on defense and gave up 6 all year. It's pretty amazing. That team was a great team because they contested everything. They gave nothing. On defense, they didn't want to give up a first down. They came and told me, we're not going to give up a first down all year. And they meant it. And they believed it. They actually believed that they could get through a season without giving up a first down. Of course, they didn't accomplish that, but they played every game with that attitude, with that mindset. So they contested everything. They just competed constantly. They to give up 3 yards was too much to them. And on offense, everybody blocked for everybody else. They wanted to score on every play. So I've never had a group of kids that all 11 of them on the field and the other 20 plus on the sidelines were so involved in everything that happened. They just contested everything. Sitting thinking about some of the kids and what they later went on and did. Of course, the ones that come to mind instantly are Mason Hastings and Kyle Castro. They went on at PG to lead PG to their first section championship game, first section championship win in PG history. They were a big part of that team, as were a lot of other Junior Herd players. Think about R.J. Frazier, who was a great running back on that 2003 team, who's on a track scholarship now to UCLA, I believe. Nayland Ludwig, scholarshiped in wrestling. He's a wrestler at one of the major colleges. I'm not sure which one now. J.D. Davis was the quarterback then. Funny thing about J.D. was he was a junior Pee Wee quarterback who could actually hit a receiver. But at that age, the kids can't catch. So that team probably would have scored 3 more touchdowns a game if the kids could actually catch the football, because JD was actually hitting receivers in the end zone. We just couldn't catch the football. They were too young. But JD's full scholarship to UC Irvine, playing baseball, and we'll probably be watching him play in the pros here real soon. Well, we had an agreement, and that was I promised the kids that I would let them play Shark, and Shark is like Red Rover, but only it's full contact tackle. And we never let them play during the season because they were so competitive and they were so intense. We didn't want them to hurt each other. So we promised them if they won their championship game and won the league championship, we would let them play Shark. Well, that was 2 weeks before the first Turkey Bowl, and we decided to let them play. And Greg Cochran wanted to keep J.D. Davis out of the Shark game because he's our quarterback, and no one else had even taken a snap. When you have J.D., you don't need another quarterback. And so I told him, no, we're going to let him play. And so we let him play, and J.D. broke his wrist in the game of Shark. And you talk about feeling dumb. I mean, I just felt so bad. I felt so stupid. And Greg, over the years, never let me hear the end of that. Turned out okay. We ended up, Jace Bieber was a really bright kid, and he had never taken a snap at quarterback, really, but he had watched the position. And he was one of those kids that, we're thinking, what are we going to do? And he said, I can do it. And so we put him in, and he knew the plays, and he had been playing some running back for us in DB, and he did a great job against Granite Bay, and we ended up with a real solid victory against them. But it was not a good situation. Oh my gosh, there's so many thoughts go through your mind. The hard work from the kids and from the parents, and just the overall decency of the group of people that were there, the coaches. It was a great group of coaches, Terry Castro and Sean Murphy and Max Walton, dad, coached, and Donnie B coached that year, and Jack Budmark coached with us that year, and of course Greg, who's no longer with us. It was just a great group of people, and the kids were great, the parents were great. And there's a funny story, though, that goes with that game. We were a small team. We averaged about 78 pounds, and the league weight limit was 95 pounds. We only had 2 X-Men, Mason Hastings and Stephen Moore. Those were our 2 big players, and Antonio Vasquez was big, too. I think he weighed 85 pounds or so, but everybody else on the team was really small. And when we got up to Granite Bay, we found out that day that during weigh-ins that their league allowed them to gain a pound per week. So we came in with a small junior peewee team and averaging about 78, 80 pounds. And their weight limit was 105 pounds. So when we went into the weigh-ins, Greg told me, hey, look, he kind of prepped me. I know I didn't tell you about this, but these guys, they're a little bit bigger than our junior peewees. And I walked in and I saw the team weighing in, and I thought, oh my gosh, these guys they can't be junior peewees. They have to be peewees. They're huge. And I think they had 15 kids over 100 pounds. And so I'm just freaking out about it the whole way. And Greg was the calm one at the time. And he's like, don't worry, we'll still beat these guys. It's not a problem. And he over the years would kind of rib me with that, because I went in and saw those kids and said, we're in trouble here. These are some big kids. Before every game, we had a pregame ritual that we followed religiously. And that was after warm-ups, right before we took the field, the parents would bring down a cooler, and it had 2 things in it. It had Skittles and it had Mountain Dew. And so the kids all drank a can of Mountain Dew, ate a package of Skittles, and went out on the field ready to go. That was our secret weapon. It was our little ritual, and the kids all would get around their circle and wait for the Skittles and Mountain Dew, and then when they hit the field, they were ready to play football.
Kids involved, a few weeks ahead of football season, get them thinking about football, get their motors running, and then to have a fundamentally based clinic for the kids, to just get them started, so that when they come to football, it maybe gave us a little bit of a head start those first few days of practice. It would give us some kids, as we run many of these same stations during the trial phase, it gave us a few more kids that knew what was going on and made coaching a little bit easier.
Do this. A lot of kids say, I want to go out and play football because they're playing with their friends on the lawn or the parks, and it's a lot different when it's an organized sport. So that's one of the advantages. The other advantage is that it allows the coaches to actually see kids out here. Even though we're not doing tryouts and we're not doing cuts, it gives us an opportunity to look at kids and put them in a position to succeed when they come out to when they play, because everyone's not a quarterback. So it gives an opportunity for the coaches also to see. The other thing that it does is we do a lot of different things to make it fun for the kids. We have guest speakers. Most of the guest speakers are prior junior herd kids, so they do a lot of reminiscing on how they were at the program, and also we have a lot of team building that goes on with the kids. And we just want the parents too. The parents have an advantage because they get to come and see who we are as coaches, because the coaches that are out here working with the children are going to be the ones who are going to be coaching them through the season. So, there's a lot of advantages of bringing your kid to here as opposed to not.
Now that you have more information to get ready for the upcoming season, we look forward to seeing you at the 2011 Skills Camp that will take place on July 19th, 20th, and 21st. Please see our website at www.elgrovejrherd.com to get all of the latest information on the junior herd. Until next time, go herd.